Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 529. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Steampunk Star Raisin.
LoveAmberStreet.com.
What's up, Ray?
I'm me, yeah.
There you go, man. So, Steampunk, what do you have to say?
Well, I have to say that millions of years of dinosaur farts. All right, let me repeat that so it sounds clear. Millions of years of dinosaur farts have come into being in Southern California. And what I'm actually referring to, in a jokingly manner, is the methane gas leak, one of the worst chemical disasters in the oil and gas industry since the BP oil spill. The state of emergency has been declared in the state of California by Governor Jerry Brown. The thing about it's methane gas that's stored deep underneath the Earth's crust. This oil and gas company lost control of it, very similar to the BP oil spill, and so they've got this geyser of methane. And there's a city to the north of Los Angeles that actually had to be evacuated because it causes nosebleeds and bad breathing. The amazing thing is it's only been making local news in Southern California, but not national news, because methane gas, you can't see it. But it's entirely possible that that methane gas could have been the result of millions of years of dinosaur farts.
Okay, and where do you come to this conclusion?
Because most farts that, like from bovine cattle, contain a large quantity of methane gas. So it's entirely possible that this methane gas could contain a lot of dinosaur farts.
At least
Hello, Chris. How are you?
What the hell did I walk into?
I have no idea.
I'm a lost generator, man, but I'm taking a factual story.
There's a methane gas on leak in
California. I'm having a humorous interpretation of a factual story.
And that's why he developed this whole suit called, and this initiative, the Steampunk Initiative, to protect his eyes from dinosaur farts. He just needs a cape, and then we're all set, basically.
Well, there's a methane gas leak caused by an oil company and lax regulations. There's a Porter Ranch, California. Most of they had to evacuate, and the oil companies having to pay rents for all the residents who had to evacuate.
Damn.
And it's a large amount of methane gas. You can't see it with the naked eye.
Right.
You have to see it on infrared. There is some infrared video that shows it, and it's a big, massive plume.
Unbelievable.
And the last 3 months, the leak of methane gas has caused the equivalent of 330,000 cars exhaust. It's the equivalent to 330,000 cars emitting CO2, because methane is a far greater causing.
Are they Atmos cars, or are they?
Well, I mean, just like an average car. They said that the amount of
you can't even.
The amount of methane gas that's been released is the equivalent to 330,000 cars emitting CO2.
And how much gas did you intake into your system?
Oh, well, I haven't calculated that much. But sometimes when I drink some soda, I reverberate a lot of gas, and I have super belch.
Okay, so in other words, you can no longer fart, but you have super belch.
I have super belch. Yeah, I have super belch. Gas goes out the other way.
Other way.
Yeah.
So your mouth. Wait. So in other words,
actually the news story I'm talking about is actually a story, but
I know Joe's times, I think.
So your mouth smells exactly like your ass. That's what you're basically saying. You have a bad case of Zachary's. Correct?
No.
He's not talking out of his arse.
I didn't say that. All right, listen. That was a great scoop. Now on to the Star Wars.
Okay.
Very good. Which is not full of hot air. Box office numbers. Okay. We have Star Wars: The Force Awakens now has 770 million in domestically, and worldwide 1,591,681,043 dollars. So that's not full of hot air or methane
Ewoks.
gas or
Oh,
dinosaur
yeah.
farts. Yeah.
Were we live the whole time? I thought we
Yes.
were off air.
No,
No, we were live.
actually
No,
We were live.
we went straight into it.
we
Oh.
actually are.
It's actually a serious story, but most of the time when you talk about methane gas emissions and you talk about the science of it, people get bored. So I thought I'd take a hilarious.
Right, so I just gotta say, wait, I just gotta say, I just checked my YouTube channel, and I just lost 29 subscribers. I don't know why.
Okay.
Something just
You're
happened.
welcome.
Thank you, and hopefully they go to your channel.
Okay.
Because I was looking at a Facebook thing just now. I didn't see the live box, and then I come back onto the page, and I'm like, oh shit, we're live. Like,
Right.
Yeah, Jill just
Pardon
went straight
my
into it tonight.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right,
I was
so let's-
being silly.
Of course.
My deadpan dry humor.
Yeah.
Right.
Go and have an
All right.
Ewok burger.
And speaking of farts,
Ewok burgers, Ewok flesh tastes like pork.
speaking of farts, looks like Walking Dead's about to lay another one.
But
Oh,
you know,
no.
it actually, even though it sounds silly and absurd, in theory, it could be true. Part of that methane gas could be dinosaur fart emissions.
And maybe they absorbed that to pop out a third, fourth, and fifth Walking Dead spin-off.
And I'm just basing that on, we don't know the 100%.
All right, let's just talk about Walking Dead. Let's just stick.
I was
with
going to
Tom.
talk about bovine biology compared to dinosaur biology, but all right.
Yeah, but maybe not today. Possibly, tomorrow. Okay, so it looks like The Walking Dead is planning on having many spin-offs. And of course, they had the article that we were talking about, I believe, Chris, the other day, right? That there's no end in sight.
yeah.
Here's what's going to happen. I'm not even going to read the article, but here's what's going to happen. If you flood the market with Walking Dead show A, B, C, D, E, people are going to get tired of it. And you're going to make it phase out that much more quickly. I mean, am I wrong for saying that, Chris?
No, I think you're right. I think that there are, of course, some anomalies to that theory, but I think that you're right for the most part, though.
Yeah, I agree, because I'm not even people are starting to lose interest with Fear the Walking Dead already.
I feel that Fear the Walking Dead, to my mind, is a failure. And then I actually cringed at the nonsense of the 30-second or whatever it is mini microsodes that nobody really gave a crap about, I guess, when Walking Dead was...
You talk about the original Walking Dead...
Fear the Walking Dead, the spin-off of the spin-off. There was
I didn't know they did that.
There was an airplane, Fear the Walking Dead, flight, whatever.
That airplane thing is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen with The Walking Dead.
It's the dumbest
Yeah, I saw
I've
that.
ever... I think that was a failed experiment that people just oh, come on already. Just turn.
No.
You got 30 seconds a week or 40 seconds a week, and it was just like, what, Ray?
I was going to say, not being rude, they look like a zombie lost.
Well, let me... I'll be serious for this one take. The Fear of the Walking Dead. There was one time I stayed in a hotel and they had a Fear of the Walking Dead marathon on AMC. So I've seen like 90% of season 2. I think I missed like the first
Season
episode.
2?
Or I'm sorry, season 1. Sorry, my
Okay.
apologies. My brain's getting scrambled. I've seen most of the first season, and it's a very short first season. I think there's only like 10 episodes.
6.
Or 6. So it mirrors.
Right? Is it 6 or 10? I'm not sure.
6. Actually, you're right. It's like 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the criticism I had about Fear the Walking Dead is almost like a cookie cutter of The Walking Dead. The timeline is almost an exact mirror. They still have civilization at the beginning of the season. By the end of the season, civilization totally falls apart, except they're in California instead of being in Georgia.
Right.
And really not any different plot-wise. The exact same pacing, everything. It's just a copy with different characters, and it's more watered-down version of Walking Dead. And I've already lost interest in Walking Dead. I'm getting really bored. I mean, I want to see something new, but
And now we also heard the bad news that Negan's not allowed to curse.
Oh.
Well, I mean,
They did not approve the F word for Negan at all. Not only did they not approve the F word, but they did not approve mostly everything that he says.
You know, that was something that I had read an article that somebody I think it may have been a comment, maybe not an article, but it was a long comment where someone said that exact thing. They were like, the one thing that worries me about introducing Negan into the show is they're gonna have to like cut out everything he does because he's so like graphic and so violent and stuff.
Well,
and I guess they were right.
You can bleep it. You know, you can just
No, but the thing is, that's his character. So what is he gonna not talk then?
No, I get. You know what they're gonna do?
Bleep it.
They're gonna make him like a different character. He's not gonna be like he was in the comics.
God.
Well, because they did that to the governor too, though. So I guess it's not really that bad because the governor in the comics was much worse than the governor in the show.
Really? The governor in the show was still pretty bad, though.
No, like the governor in the show like raped Michonne and stuff, and like it was bad. I mean, in the comic, not in the show.
Right.
But he died.
So
he died a totally different way too, in the comic.
How did he die a different way in the comic? I don't know.
He got shot by one of his own people because she shot Lori, and Lori fell onto the baby, and the baby suffocated. And she was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then she like turns around and she kills the governor.
In my opinion, I wish that they didn't kill off the governor so soon because I thought he was the best villain of Walking Dead. That's just my opinion.
Right.
They kind of, now it's kind of bland, and it seems the series to me seems very repetitive. And I mean, I've seen all the way up through the end of season 5, and I'm just kind of bored. I'm not really that enthusiastic about the future of it.
It's like me. I was upset when Herschel died.
I agree with what Steampunk said because honestly, I was thinking about it a couple of days ago. I was watching, or it might have been a couple of weeks ago. I was watching the last episode of the season, and I was thinking like, you know what? This is basically what happens in every season. Like they find a safe place, it's safe for a while, then it gets overrun. Then they find another safe place, it's safe for a while, then it gets overrun, and then insert human group that attacks for a reason A, B, C, or D. And then you've got the show, basically.
Yeah. There's not a change, is there? There's not a change.
No.
And that's what I liked about talking about zombie franchises. Resident Evil, I think, is very underrated. Because there's like all kinds of crazy different zombies in Resident Evil universe, and in the Walking Dead universe, they're just all the same. There's not really any special types of zombies.
Mm.
Well, I'm looking forward to the Last of Us movie when that comes out.
I think eventually the zombie craze is going to end.
Well, I mean, like I think it was Resident Evil Extinction. I know a lot of people gave it bad reviews, but it dealt with cloning, and I've always been fascinated with cloning.
I'm actually going to make a prediction that the craze really starts to die in 2017. Because already we've had how many years of Walking Dead, and I think that, again, I'm very against ruining the product that they have. I don't want them to put out too much Walking Dead spin-offs. I think they should stop now because that's going to take... You want to have them wanting more, not giving them too much, because then they'll just get sick of it.
I'll tell you what, I think the zombie craze has already started to go down. Because I see people rolling their eyes at zombie stuff now. It's like, what, again? Like, I think it's going to be gone probably. I think you're right. I think it'll be completely gone by next year. But I think it's going to be gone by the end of this year. I think people are going to be done with it.
I think the Walking Dead ratings in 2017 is going to hit a problem. Yeah, a problem.
Yeah. So, go on, Joe.
Well, the one thing I don't understand is why can't they do something where has nothing to do with people or the walkers? Why can't they get into a situation where the weather is their enemy? Like, I don't understand why they don't have it where they're fighting walkers or whatever. Then we get to see it during the winter time with the snow, or how they deal with like tornadoes or hurricanes with fighting walkers. I mean, that would change. That would like be different. Or maybe the Earth starts getting polluted so much with the death that things start going wrong with the climate.
They did that in the Telltale game.
Yeah.
In the Telltale game, they're in the winter. You see like how walkers are in the winter, and like there's snow everywhere. They're not that good actually because they can't really get through a lot of the snow. So that's an interesting. I think it would be an interesting thing for them to explore in the show. I think you're right. I think that they should do something like that.
I'm surprised, like, you know how we have,
and zombies.
Yeah.
Zombies emit a lot of methane gas, I would imagine.
Oh,
Ray, you were gonna say something, right?
I was gonna say, I predict the Last of Us movie, when that comes out, it's all gonna flop, isn't it? Because we're saying about the zombie craze, that's gonna be thingy, isn't it? That's gonna be
the Last of Us movie will do well just because that game was loved by everybody.
Yeah.
So you think that might? So do you think that might pick up the zombie craze again?
No. You want to know why? I think it's gonna do well, but technically, The Last of Us isn't a zombie game, so it's not. I don't think it would lead to. I think people might look at that, and what that might do is people might look at that movie and be like, "Can we have something like that instead?"
Right.
Because technically, like I said, those weren't zombies. So
what were they?
They were people that were infected by I think it was a fungus, but they weren't like it was really interesting because like they were blind.
Okay.
And they I think they used I didn't play the game, but I think they used like echolocation or something.
Yeah, clickers, weren't they? Or something.
Yeah, it was a fungus. It wasn't a virus, and they weren't zombies. They were still alive.
Oh.
But like the fungus made them go nuts, and it made them it took over their face, so they looked like a mushroom kind of thing.
But they have all their memories, and they're like crazy.
Well, that was the thing that they thought. Like that was something they brought up. Like, do you think you still remember who you are when you're infected? And they're like, oh, I don't know. It's like maybe.
Right. Wow.
Well, I'll say this. It doesn't matter if they have a lot of zombie shows as long as it's good, but it seems repetitive with a lot of it, the same formula over and over again. There's a lot of superhero shows on TV now. There's like Arrow, there's Flash.
But there's going to be more.
Legends of Tomorrow. You got.
I think NBC's ordering a DC show.
Yeah, but the thing about those is those are all unique characters, though.
That's true. That's true. They've done a good job with. I'm not too interested in Arrow, but I really like Flash Season 2. Flash Season 2 is really good. Getting really interesting. I really love the multiverse. I hope they lead up to Crisis on Infinite Earth, but I wonder if DC will have the balls to do that. I don't know.
So if you were a showrunner, like, or something, what kind of show would you put on if it was something new?
What do you mean?
Like we're talking about the zombie craze going down and superheroes.
No, like I said, I would do different things with The Walking Dead. I would show that the Earth is getting so diseased that even the weather, like where you'd have snow or rain or whatever, you would start having hail, or you start having it would really affect the Earth, where we would have different type of weather phenomenons. Not expected that, maybe acid rain or different things, and then we would start having constant mists and clouds, and it would become really a dreary planet. Like they would have to deal with all sorts of things. Like they couldn't even have visibility. I mean, I honestly think that they should do different things other than the human element. I mean, they never really talked about the animals. They never really talked about,
Yeah, it doesn't seem like animals don't seem to become zombies.
Why don't they turn? Or what if there's, there's got to be some type of effect because of this. So that's what I'm thinking. But anyway.
You know what they could do?
What?
Because they introduced this sort of with the when they were still at the prison, and there was that plague that was going around the prison.
Right.
There were zombies there that were sick, that died of the plague, and they actually became a different type of zombie.
Correct.
Why don't they say that whatever this is that's causing people to get sick is starting to change itself, and they have different versions of zombies in the show?
Right. Like, why don't they do something where you have a half zombie, half human, or something like they look decayed but they're alive?
Or have some that are somewhat more intelligent.
Correct.
Or something.
They used to do that with George Romero's movies. I think there was a movie where this zombie that started running and climbing and leaping, and he's trying to teach all the zombies to do that.
Yeah.
So.
I think that was called Survival of the Dead.
Was it Survival or Land of the Dead?
Oh no, I think it was Land of the Dead. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I think. I think that they should start having that. Or they should start having like a half zombie, half human leader, or some type of thing that leads the walkers. Like something that leads the walkers, like a walker that's half intelligent or something. I would think that would be cool. I'm sure they'll do that if they get desperate, if things start getting really bad with the ratings, The last thing I want to see them do is kill Rick or something, because the moment they kill Rick, I feel the show is over.
Well, you know what it is? Like you can go on forever with the comic, because you'll always have that devoted fan base. You'll always have the readers who will pick up the comics and they'll read them.
I don't know if that can go on forever.
I don't mean forever, but I think that it can go on longer than the show, because with the show you're appealing to more people, and eventually people are going to be like, I'm tired of watching this.
Well, here's the thing. The comic's been around for, what, 11 years?
It's been around for a while, yeah.
So eventually it's not going to be around. I mean, I don't really see the comic, like, eventually it's just, they even said, like, when things started getting stale, they introduced Negan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the comic was dropping, so what else are you going to do? So that's right.
I think the showrunners should plan, like, not definitely
an exit strategy.
Yeah, I think they should plan an end just in case. Like, all right, we're going to end the show, and have a plan, because I would rather them plan a good ending than realize that the show's not doing well and then be like, oh, we got to end it somehow.
See, you know what I think they should do? If things get really bad, what they should do is do something unexpected. They should cure it, right? And then the problem be not so much the walkers, but now who's trying to rebuild the world? And these lunatics that have survived by, like, in other words, the mental state of everybody and this new type of way that they're surviving, they're trying to adapt that to create governments. Like these crazy lunatics. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and Rick would have to be, like, with his group, try to rebuild the world too, but deal with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, that's what I'm thinking, because I'm tired of the humans being, like, the threat. It's got to be the walkers only. Eventually they're going to get wiped out too. So,
well,
yeah.
We can talk about, we can talk about things that they can do, but the thing is, though, the show is doing well now. So it's not like they're going to be thinking about doing any of this, because the show is still doing really well. So they're just going to ride it until it doesn't. And hey, go for it. But
well, that's why I say in 2017, by the end of the season, which would probably, end of the first half of the new season, 2017, I think they're going to start to feel a decline. Because how much, all right, say Negan comes in, right? Negan comes in, he kills Glenn, he kills Abraham, he kills the priest, he kills, Sasha and right? Kills most of them. How long is that going to keep going on? Like, people are going to be like, okay, I'm not surprised by it anymore by this character because that's what he does is kill people. And it's just going to be boring after a while, especially if he can't curse and be the character he's going to be. In that respect, I would think, right, that they should do a twist where maybe the governor isn't dead. Like maybe you just saw like a mark on the side of his head or something or whatever where, he survives and he comes back while Negan's on the show.
He became a zombie. And
No, not a zombie. I'm saying that he's alive and it's Negan and the governor at the same time. Like two threats.
Well, I mean, I think didn't they show the governor becoming a zombie?
No, they never showed the governor become a zombie.
They showed him that he was shot in the head, though. I mean,
they did show the mark, right? Yeah, I mean.
And I don't think people would buy that now. I think they'd be like, "What? This guy's dead," and then they'd stop watching.
Well,
this is stupid.
Unless the governor comes back as a zombie, but he comes back.
But he can't. Here's the thing.
He's like a different type of zombie. Like maybe his version of the sickness mutates where he still retains intelligence.
But he can't. Here's the thing.
That would be interesting.
We can't see that because they are how many miles away from where the governor was. He's not going to walk that fast to where...
He got shot in the head, too. He can't come back.
And even if he was a walker, he is like, I don't know how many miles away that he would never catch up to them because they're going this way and he's going that way. I mean, it's like...
Yeah.
So...
It's impossible.
He's not going to run and he's not going to...
Maybe it was his body double.
I don't know. All right, guys. I think this is going to be it for this episode. Take care. Bye for now.